Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and this is my current foundation routine, and it is all Drugstore. I was really happy with my foundation routine that I was in like during the winter, but since it's warmed up, I'm outside a lot more and my skin has gotten much darker. I could not wear my foundation anymore. So I didn't want to, spend the money on my Marc Jacobs in just a darker shade. So I just went to my drugstore and I've been experimenting and playing with lots of different foundations, and this is what I have come up with. So if you're interested in seeing how I've been doing my foundation, then just keep. Okay, so first things first, I have my eye makeup done and my eyebrows done. So I'm gonna moisturize my skin using this Neutrogena Hydro Boost. This is like a gel consistency, so it's really nice. I have really dry skin, but I can also get pretty oily. So I find that using a moisturizer that is a gel helps me to be moisturized, but then I'm not battling oil throughout the day. So, and then the nice thing is that I feel like I don't have to let the moisturizer sink into my skin. It feels like water and my skin just drinks it up, so I can get right into the foundation. So the foundation that I'm using is this Revlon Color Stay Full Cover, and I think it's so funny that it's called Full Cover Foundation because I find that it is not full coverage at all. It is pretty sheer. So I do apply a few coats, but like I would not call this a full coverage foundation. This is not going to be like your Estee Lauder Double Wear, where that's a heavy duty full coverage. This is definitely more sheer, as you can see. But I like it because even though it's pretty sheer and I have to apply a few coats, I feel like it doesn't look cakey. And I really like it because I feel like when I use this foundation, it looks like my skin, but better. I feel like it doesn't look like I'm wearing a ton of makeup, even though I'm using a lot. And I've tried using this with a beauty blender, applying this foundation, and I just think that it's not worth it. When you use a beauty blender, it kind of sucks up the excess product and kind of shears everything out, which I love. But with this foundation, I want all the excess product on my face. I don't need it to be sheared out any more than it is. So I would recommend using a nice synthetic flat top brush like this. This is the Sigma Flat Kabuki F80. I've had this brush for years. I love this. And it works really well for blending out this foundation. So once I have a full kind of coverage on my face the first time through, then I'll just kind of look at my face and see where do I need more coverage. So I feel like my cheeks right here are pretty red, so I'll usually do more right there. Down here I've got some situations going. So you really can't go too heavy-handed with this makeup. Like, it's really hard to get carried away with it. So if you're new to foundation, I would suggest this one because you're not going to get carried away. It's still going to look really natural. And even the finish, I wouldn't call it a matte. I would call this a natural finish. It's definitely not dewy, but the packaging says that it's matte. I would call this natural. I'm going to go in with my concealer And this is the Maybelline Master Conceal. It reminds me of that one MAC concealer. I can't even remember what it's called. But I'm just applying this under the eyes. And now is when I'm going to take my beauty blender. And this is the Real Techniques one. I really like it. I feel like beauty sponges don't last very long anyway. And so it's not as soft as the original beauty blender. It's definitely more dense, which bothered me at first. But if you're only going to be, if it only lasts a few months, I just don't want to spend $20 on a beauty blender. So I started buying this Real Techniques one. And you can just get it at Walmart, which is the only store that we have near me that carries makeup. So it's nice, I can just replace it every few months when it starts to die on me. And I can use the money that I would have spent on a beauty blender on some more fun makeup. I'm gonna take this Maybelline concealer, and it's not the darkest shade, but it looked the coolest to me. I'm gonna contour my nose. So this is shade 30 Cafe. So on a concealer brush, I'm gonna just take some product and I'm gonna work on contouring my nose. So I kind of start up at the top by the eyebrow and draw a straight line down. And this is warmer than I ideally would like it, but it is the best thing that I could find at my store. And then we're going to blend that in with a little angled brush. And this brush is dirty because it's my contour brush, so that's why it looks so scary. It's not like I'm just taking up a brush I did dark eyeliner with. This is what I use to contour my nose. I use it for the cream concealer and then also the powder. So what I use to set my under eye and my face is this Maybelline Master Fix translucent setting powder. And then on top of that, because it's pretty stark white, I'm going to use this Ben Nye banana powder. So I'm going to go over my whole face, especially under my eyes, because I find that the banana powder doesn't really help the creasing situation. So I'm really going to use the Maybelline translucent powder really good under my eyes. So first I'm going to dab under to make sure that it's not creased before I set it. And then just apply that under the eyes, a little bit on the nose, and then kind of the rest of the face. And then in the cap of the Maybelline, I'm going to pour some banana powder. Then I'm going to go over and so this just brings a more natural color to the skin. A little bit more yellow, not so ghostly. So this Ben Nye powder, I don't know if you would call it drugstore. I definitely wouldn't call it like high-end makeup. So I'm lumping it in with the drugstore because it's pretty cheap. I got this powder for I think like $13 off of Amazon. Okay, I'm gonna let the powder kind of sink into my skin. This is usually where I would do my eye makeup and my eyebrows, but I've already got that done. So I'm just gonna let the powder sit for a minute and then I will wipe it off. So now I'm gonna take this kabuki brush. This is e.l.f. I think that it's like $6, and I've been using this brush for years. So I'm just gonna wipe off the excess powder. So now all that powder is off my face. I'm gonna finish up my makeup. I'm gonna do my my blush, my bronzer, my contouring with the powder, and I'll be back to show you my drugstore setting spray that I use and love. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished with the rest of my makeup. So I'm gonna finish with this Maybelline Master Fix Long Lasting Wear Boosting Setting Spray. Usually in the winter time, I will just give myself like a shower in setting spray, but since it is summer and it is hot and I spend a lot of time outside playing with the kids, I only do like 2 or 3 sprays so that it like kind of melds all the powders together, but I'm not going to be extremely shiny and dewy. So, and that's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this drugstore foundation routine. I hope that it was helpful. Let me know if you give it a try, and I hope that you guys continue to have a fun summer with your families, and I will